G'day folks, and welcome to another adventure. Today's plan is to do a bit of catch and cook, but to do that first we've got to catch some bait. I'm out here today with Jesse. You might remember him from some of the other videos. We've done a few together, and of course he's bought the property where we went exploring only a few weeks ago. But today we're out here and we're trying to catch something to eat, but first, like I said, we've got to get some bait, and Jesse, he's a bit shit on the cast net. I'm not saying I'm too much better, but I'm going to get out there and give it a go. With a bit of luck, we might be able to turn up some mullet, some herring, or even some prawns. It's coming to be that time of year where there might be some prawns around. But this bait is playing hard to get. Eventually though, we do turn up a couple of little potty mullet. So I can finally put the net down for a rest and throw a line in. Now that we've got something to use for bait. Today I'm here with Jesse and we're fishing on the banks of the old Muddy Mary, but we're actually down here trying to catch some bait. We've been throwing the cast net but not turning too much up. We've got a few little things hoping we can catch some catfish or some legal bream to cut up for bait, because we're going to go and meet Tristan later on. Hopefully round up a bit of flake. So stay tuned to see if we catch anything this time. Only minutes after baiting up with the live mullet, Jesse pulls in a beautiful pikey bream. This guy's, he's legal, so we're keeping him. Whether we're eating him or using him for bait later, we'll just have to see how we go. Hopefully we can turn up a little bit more bait. I can't sit still too long when the fish aren't biting, so I'm straight back on that cast net. And look at this, a little shrimp and a monster prawn. I'm going to eat this, hopefully with some flake later. One's not exactly going to be a big feed, even if he is a monster. The cast netting finally pays off with some solid river mullet. These are great shark bait, and really, you can't beat them. Some people even eat them. But it's time for us to get out of here and head to the shark fishing spot. We've got our bait sorted. Let's go. Wait, this grass is super tall. I'm actually holding the camera up above my head height. I cannot see where I'm going. We're just following the game trail here. We've fished here before. You might remember this spot from No Tomato with Jesse and Tristan. Here's a clip of that. You can see how tall the grass was then. But man, this stuff is overgrown. And there's a little creek here. I am a bit concerned about crocodiles. Could have been making this trail, but we're gonna make our way down to the riverbank anyway, because we're chasing something to eat. And it's the middle of the day after all. What are the chances of the crocodiles hiding up here in the shady grass? Yep. Anyway, I made it down here. Let's see if Jesse does without slipping over or being eaten by a giant lizard. That sure was graceful. Right, that's enough messing around in the grass. Time to get into trying to catch us some flake, because that tide's going to be coming in soon and we're going to be hungry. We set out 3 rods up the bank,
shark fishing,
each with bits of mullet and bits of bream on them. Bream was getting a little bit warm to eat. I think it was probably on the way out, and in no time we get a hit up on one of the rods.
Did you miss it?
The first encounter with the bull sharks of the river, they managed to give Jesse the slip. The hooks don't set in its mouth and they get away with the bait. Now it's my turn. After Jesse missing that first shark, I'm sure to set the hooks hard and fast into the jaws of this river monster. Even with the heavy gear we're running, these sharks still give you a fight. They go with the current and they go hard. This gravel bank could cut the line off at any point. There's plenty of sharp stones sticking up. I'm running my pen reef rods because they're the heaviest rods I've got, and they're the best thing for trying to tackle these monsters into the shallows, so you can reach out and grab them. The key to shark fishing on this gravel bar, and why we keep coming back here, is if you can get the shark to belly out on the gravel, it greatly reduces its power and speed to spin around. Grab your hand while you reach out and grab it. We're using pretty heavy line here. I'm hoping to get this guy right up into the shallows. In fact, I might just pull him up by the leader.
Bigger than last time.
He's only a little bull shark after all. They get plenty bigger than this, but I'm pretty happy with this one. Bit of flake. We'll have one of these a person, so we'll get fishing again and see if we can get Jesse to land one. The tide's slowing down and it appears the sharks have gone off the bite a little bit. Jesse maintains the rods because he's got to wind in the next one because I've already landed mine. Like I was saying, you're only allowed one shark or ray in Queensland per person under 1.5 metres, and that's what these guys always tend to be. Right, Jesse's got another hook up here. Look at the power on this one. I'm just letting him know, don't tighten the drag up too much, otherwise they will bite through these light steel traces. After a fairly long battle, Jesse seems to have this shark on the ropes. He was taking drag and Jesse was pulling it back in towards the bank, but it seems to be wearing down and is darting with the tide along the bank and staying in nice and shallow. So that's great for us. This means we don't have to pull it up too far to get it out of the water, but it does mean it's coming in close to those rocks and places where it can shear the line off. He's got it right into the shallows. I'm going to race up here and see if I can grab the line.
Just drop it. Drop the hook right at the bank.
Unfortunately, that can't happen. It must have been only just caught the hook in that shark's mouth, and when it rode up onto the gravel, it was just enough tension to pop it free. We'd pretty much given up for the day. We were packing up. We only had one rod left in the water, and you wouldn't believe it.
Hey mate, we're supposed to be packing up. Buddy, just cut that off. Yeah, I'll just cut that line for you and we'll keep packing up, yeah?
As you can see with the incoming tide, our little gravel bank is disappearing. In the next 20 minutes or so, that water's going to push up against those grass flats and going to come up about another metre, and we're going to have nowhere to go if we don't get out of our little exit soon. You don't want to get trapped down here, down this bank. There's obviously plenty of sharks in this one.
I'll grab the leader if you can get him in close. He's twisted up.
We weren't messing around with this guy. Jesse was desperate to land the shark and get one on the board. As you can see, the shark's not super happy about it and is trying to bite me quite a lot, but we get the job done.
What a fairytale ending, mate. That's right around me foot, I think. Oh, the hook's come out. Hook's out.
That hook popping out of its mouth here on the bank just goes to show how easy these guys can dislodge hooks. If you get bitten off by one, don't feel too stressed out. They'll get out of their mouth. Jesse has successfully landed a bull shark here, the 11th hour.
Nice one.
Look at that. He's a happy bloke. Now, it's time to get these things processed up.
I cut the tail and bleed them. Got a major artery run all the way up, vein. So bleed out pretty quick.
Shout out to Black Panthers. I normally do this with a knife, and I wreck plenty of knives on shark skin, or at least require them to have a really good sharpening afterwards, but these make light work of that tough skin.
Normally I'll take the top fin off too, but the panthers don't seem to cut through it, so that's how we have them. Ready to be processed the rest of the way at home.
Unfortunately, I ran out of time to cook this flake up with Jessie, so this is a couple of days later. I've had that shark sitting with milk in the bag with it for about 45 minutes, just to take away some of the iodine flavour. Mixing it with flour and beer to make a simple beer batter, and we're shallow frying it in olive oil with a little bit of salt on the wok burner. This is my favourite way to do fish, and they come up a treat. It's simple, very few ingredients. It just doesn't get much better than this. And while we're going, we can't have fish without some chips, so we're going to do them in the same oil above the wok burner as well in the old cast iron skillet. Look at that, guys. You can't really go wrong from something that you pull out of a river that people hate to catch to something really quite delicious. That crispy white flesh, you can't go wrong. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining. Maybe I'll see you out there somewhere.